Good morning. Whew. Well, I've had a weekend. And then I dealt with some insomnia last night, so everything is great. Yeah, I'm not entirely quite awake yet. Good morning, dude box. I'm so sorry my voice is so groggy. I wasn't planning on coming home so late last night and having to go to bed almost immediately, but then also deal with not being able to sleep very well. So that's one of those things that I guess happens when you're having fun, I suppose. But I mean, I did go and I did see the new Frankenstein movie. That was a lot of oh, there I go. Hang on. Everything is so unprepared. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun. Yeah, so I saw the new Frankenstein movie, the new Guillermo del Toro movie, and I have a lot of thoughts. I knew it was gonna be different. Oh, hang on. I knew it was gonna be a different kind of adaptation because of everything. Sorry, I'm just looking at my teeth. Yeah, I knew it was gonna be a different kind of adaptation. But like it wasn't. It was okay. It was like it was good, but then there were some like bits that were a little off. Why are my teeth so big? Why did I rig? I rigged this incorrectly. Oh, it's so bothering me. Oh my god. Anyway, so yeah, it was kind of a really crazy. There were definitely a lot of changes to it. I mean, of course, they left out a whole bunch of stuff out from the movie. Alright, what was I gonna say? But there were definitely some parts that were on the nose. Like, there was this part where a character is dying, and he looks to, Victor Frankenstein, and, like, I think one of his last words is, "You're the monster." It's like, okay. Good job. Good job. But then there was also this one funny bit that I was laughing because I thought of how silly it was. There's this lady that I guess it's down bad for the creature, and it's her wedding day, all that stuff, and then and she gets shot by Victor, and the creature like carries her away into a cave. And she does this whole speech about love as she's dying, and I thought that was a little funny. It's like there were some Del Toro isms in there. Change the song. What else can I say about the movie? I liked how the creature looked. The actor played him. He was good. I don't know what other stuff he's been in though. What's his name? Frankenstein 2025. Jacob Elordi. Has he been in anything that I know? He looks like Josh Hutcherson, but like if you squashed his face. Well, there you go. It just squashed Hutcherson. Yeah, I've never heard of these movies. No, I haven't heard of anything. There's a show called Euphoria. I've heard of Euphoria. Yep. I've never... Nope. But there was this... That one actress... Oh! There was this one actress that's in there. I was like, what is she from? And she's that one chick, the Pearl girl. That's like screaming all the time. I don't know a lot of my actors, but I mean, I know Christoph Waltz. And I know, what's his face? Oscar Isaac, there we go. I know him. What I liked about how the creature looked is that the stitches, instead of them being like random stitches, they were like precise cuts. They were like precise cuts from like a surgical. Like if you like some human anatomy, if you study human anatomy and all that stuff, you'll appreciate that. I know lots of artists, they study human anatomy just to get better at the craft. Which you should, if you like drawing like me, but it's boring. I'll be bad for longer, I guess. I mean, look at my surgically majestic body. It is so precise, so anatomically correct. Wow, 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 wow. Dee 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 dee. But it was so busy. It was, I mean, I was entering a city on a Saturday evening, but normally when we go up there, on the few times we do, it was not that busy because we usually go on like normal weekdays in the morning. But now, Del Toro, can you do like, I don't know, Frankenstein or Phantom of the Opera? I'd very much appreciate that. What else can I say about the movie? I mean, I liked the few changes with the old man in the house. Instead of, in the book, the creature just like gets books just accidentally dropped off by his place. But this time he has them actually read to him. Like he actually, you know, the old man, you know, they actually know him for a bit. So that was kind of a fun change. One day we'll get the part where Frankenstein gets, you know, suspected for murder in Ireland. But they kind of they turn the story, like the themes of this story is more about like the cycles of familial abuse, where like in the book I think Victor's family is actually quite nice to him, but they made his dad Charles dance. They made his dad Charles dance. One of my favorite parts of the movie was when the creature moved the ship. Like, he has this, like, super strength, and he moves the ship back, and the captain's like, turn around, we're going back to... Or going home. I think they said St. Petersburg. What's another part of the movie? But other than that, you know, we went to, we did some shopping. Well, I got mostly essentials, you know, because it's getting cold. Whoopsie daisies. That wasn't supposed to happen. Since it was getting cold, I was like, well, I got time to stock up on my Gold Bond hand cream. I like that. I like that one a lot. Because I have to wash my hands where I work quite a bit. Because I'm touching a lot of gross stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's like... It's... I think I'll maybe... It's not a complete rewatch for me. Well, I'll watch it like maybe a second time. But, you know, I didn't really know what exactly to expect from... Like, I wasn't expecting anything, honestly. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just kind of just expecting a Del Toro version of Frankenstein, and that's what I got. I've seen some people like say it was amazing. I've seen some people say it was not amazing. You know, I think it depends on what you like, I suppose. But like I said, I got some hand cream and chapstick because it's getting cold and my lips get dry, my hands get dry. But also I went to like one of those like grocery store buffets, and I had some beef stew. And you know what's going on this weekend? This week? It is my wedding anniversary, and at first we were like, let's go to this restaurant. But then I was like, hey honey, what if instead of going to this restaurant, we make some beef stew? Because that restaurant's gonna be a little pricey anyway. Well, not that pricey, but you know, if we could just combine it, what we would pay at the restaurant, we could make beef stew. So we are planning on making some nice beef stew for our anniversary. Aaaaa! So that's gonna be really nice because, oh, it was so delicious. Like the golden potatoes, they weren't diced up, they were like cut in half. Yeah, so like beef is expensive, but you know what? If we just combine everything, we'll chop it up into some cubes, saute some onions, cut carrots, cut potatoes. Some people add peas in it. I don't really add peas in it. This one had green beans, but I won't add green beans. Some tomato stuff in there. That's gonna be kind of a fun thing. That's gonna be a fantastic meal because it's cold. And I wonder if I can somehow arrange it to be bigger. So maybe we can use all the leftovers for the whole week. My sister was telling me that she makes, what's it called? Just food for to last a whole week. Like, sometimes I wonder if I should do that. Because sometimes, the thing is that the food that I make mostly is for the food that is dinner. But it can also be lunch at the same time. But only lunch for the next day. And then the cycle continues and I'm stressing out over it all again. What was really funny is that my sister and I, we like spent about an hour at a bookstore. It's a discount bookstore, so we were in there for maybe about an hour. I got 3 books. I got my mom a copy, her own copy of Frankenstein, because she was borrowing mine. So I got that for her. But I got myself a book of Edgar Allan Poe because I realized, I think one of my earlier streams, that I'm not as well read as I thought I would. I couldn't find any, like... Okay, so I'm very picky about what kind of books I get. Mostly for the covers, or like if they're paperback or hardback. For me, I don't like the very flashy book covers because I like to be, you know, like to keep things on the down low. But also, we also went to a Barnes & Noble, and there's always like Barnes & Noble's editions of the books that I want to see, but they're not very comfortable for reading. Or like if you open the book, you hear like creaking and cracking. Like they look fancy, but they feel cheaply made. So normally, like if I truly want to get a book, like if I really want it, if I want to have my own copy, what I usually get is a paperback. And if it's a classic, I try going on like thriftbooks.com, and I try finding certain editions like Penguin Classics, like, or even really early paperback Barnes & Noble classics. Those are like where they're actually comfortable to hold and I have around. You know what? I'm not feeling this music. Where is it? Mirador. I just feel like playing this. I just play this for the rest of the stream. I'm feeling low energy. I'm feeling smooth and mysterious. Where am I? I wanted to get myself some HP Lovecraft, but those big book editions where they're like hardback and all like green looking, they're not comfortable. The books I want to get are the ones that are comfortable and I can, like, you know, not have to worry too much about it. I know it's a tall order. I'm a very difficult person to work with. Some might even say impossible to work with. But that's the way I roll. I also wanted to get my own copy of Dune, but even then, I was having a difficult time because there were only two kinds of copy. There were only two copies that I found. One was, you know, a copy with the movie cover. I don't want to have a copy of a movie cover because I always feel like it dates itself and it's not flashy and fun. And also, I don't want it to mess with like how I'm imagining everything. And then the second edition was very old. Yes, it was a very old edition. However, but like it was small, the pages were yellow, and it was like falling apart. And it's like, if it was a bigger book, maybe I would have gotten it. Things are looking much better. Sorry, I'm editing my teeth in live 2D cubism while I'm talking because that's like what happened when I was like doing the save. But you know what? I'll just take care of that later. I'll like upgrade it later, but it was bothering me like crazy. I know, it's been like forever since I rigged this, so I don't remember exactly what I did. I like looking at myself in my iPhone. Being like, what's going on here? Blah! You know, here's a confession of mine. My confession is that I don't know what kind of, like, I want to find more supernatural books, like more vampires and stuff, but I don't want to be, like, romantical about it. I don't, like, I mean, I do, like, I think romance is cool, but I don't want it to be, like, YA about it. I want everyone to be, like, a functioning regular person. I don't know if those books exist. Okay, I don't know if someone, like, flipped a switch, but all of a sudden, everyone is nostalgic for older Halloweens. I have never seen that before. I've never seen that before. And I was thinking the Halloweens here are just fine. That's been a problem with urban super. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like, I'm still reading The Historian. It's a very long book, and I kind of don't want it to end because I can't find anything like it. Twilight, similar books inspired to float supernatural romance novels to the point where it's hard to find non-romance in that genre. Yeah. Yeah. It's true, and you know, it frustrates me to no end because, like, you know, it's so funny. I'm like, oh, I want these kinds of books, but let me tell you something about me. Let me tell you something about me. When it comes to, like, monsters and stuff like that, like, whenever I come up with my own versions to writing them, what I like to do is I like to just make a slice of life and make them regular people. I don't know, because it's like, I don't know, it's more fun to play around. What kind of inconveniences would they have to deal with all the time? Like werewolves. Like, imagine, you know, every time the werewolf wakes up, they deal with a lot of back pain because they're, you know, transformations. Or they're very sensitive hearing. Or, you know, if you're a vampire, you know, you can't, like, do certain things. You always have to ask all the time to be let into the grocery store. And then what if vampires didn't actually need blood, but they just, like, but maybe there's, like, some kind of loophole they could have? I don't know, it's something fun. That's the kind of stuff I like looking for. I like finding the fun in the supernatural. So it's not like my stuff would be much better, but, you know, yeah, it's not like if my stuff would be much better. But, you know, I kind of like the old stuff because it's like, okay, how would, you know, the monster feel if, you know, someone gave him a bag of chips? Imagine all the problems vampires would have to deal with daily. Oh my god. Let's see, what would they have to deal with a lot? Well, I don't know if, you know, I don't know if they would have to deal with, what's it called? If they can have their pictures taken, because older cameras, you would use mirrors. But I wonder if modern cameras, I don't think they use mirrors. They have, like, sensors. I wonder if they would be, I wonder if they would actually be able to be caught Oh, you know what is a great movie about this is What We Do in the Shadows, where it's like a mockumentary about all the vampires dealing with the modern day. It's like part where the vampires are like learning about a digital camera. One of my favorite quotes is it's like leave me alone to do my evil bidding. And it's like, what are you bidding on? And he's like, I'm bidding on a table. And like they learn about the internet. And like one of the vampires gets like in a Skype call with one of his old servants, and his servant's old's like, no, I've been waiting for you. I've wasted my life. I waited for my and then like he just kind of leaves it behind. That's the stuff I like a lot. And like the werewolves are like they're like a group of like, I don't know, it's like a fraternity or what, but they're like trying to deal with their anger. It's like, we're werewolves, not swearwolves. That's the stuff I like. I love that stuff so much. But instead of, there's a character who's not Vlad the Impaler. His name is Vladislav the Poker. And one of my favorite things, like, he shows his torture chamber, and he says, I tend to torture when I'm in a bad place. And there's this one part in the end where they think they lost their friend. They thought their friend died. And you see him torturing again because he's dead. That's the stuff I like. That's the stuff I love. I was thinking of like what kind of jobs a werewolf could have. I was thinking one could be a park ranger. Or you could also do this one setting if everyone knows that everyone's supernatural and they're all accepting of it. Actually there was a scene in the Frankenstein movie that kind of made me feel very sad. Because, you know, Frankenstein, like, you know, he creates a creature and he can only say one word, and he's trying to teach the creature how to not say that one word, how to say more words, but he doesn't. But he can say more words. He could say an extra word, but like not around him. And it just made me think of like, you know, I'm autistic, but you know, I have more functions, more visible functions. I got invisible dysfunctions, I guess. But it made me very sad because it just felt like a scene with, you know, someone yelling at someone that just can't communicate, or, you know, they communicate in their own way. So, you know, the monster's autistic. That's what we get from the movie. No, that's what I get for the movie. Like, as an autistic person, like any other is, you know, any other, I always see it as an autistic person in my mind. So I can just like see myself in other characters. What's that term that I've seen people say? Rhythm with the tism. It is absolutely insane. I was diagnosed with autism. Well, the proper word at the time was called PDD-NOS. And let me tell you what the definition of PDD-NOS is. It's such a funny term. It says pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified. And I got that because there was that one autism diagnosis back that day called Asperger's. But because of like one trait, the doctor was like, well, you have PDD-NOS, which is, you know, autism, but it's not Asperger's. But now we have we have just autism spectrum disorder, and that's so much easier because it's a very complicated disorder. And I want to talk about it more because mostly it's a reminder to myself that it's a reminder to myself that, you know, it's okay not to be completely normal and all that stuff. Oh, what a lovely breeze. What a lovely day. Because I remember, like, before I was diagnosed, I didn't understand what was wrong with me. In fact, sometimes I would go on Yahoo Answers and try asking for help. Like, why am I like this? Why am I like this? I don't understand what's going on with me. But a diagnosis has, like, a lot of answered questions. But what's so great is that, especially for women get, like, diagnosed very late. And even the women that get diagnosed late and, like, they talk about their experiences with autism, I experience the same things as them, and, like, revelations from hearing from other people. You were lucky to have been diagnosed early? Okay, you know, it's so funny because I was diagnosed late, but very early in comparison to many people. Like, I was diagnosed, like, while I was in high school. But, you know, for many people, they don't get diagnosed until, like, their 30s and 40s. And, you know, like, it's nice to have that clarity, but still, like, there's, like, all kinds of terms that, you know, I've learned, that no one really talks about, that no one spoke about before for me. Like, stimming and masking, which I don't understand the masking bit completely, but that's probably me taking everything very literally. You know, it's so funny. I have a big imagination, but still my imagination limits me because I need to have, like, a real world reference on how things work. Like, where I need to find, like, a real life place that would look like a place that something would happen in a book or a story that I have in my head. Like, I have this in my head, in my head I have this Beauty and the Beast story in my head, but it's, like, in the Old West. But I was trying to, like, coming up with the vague, like, I had a vague idea in my brain on how it could work. Like, instead of, like, an old castle, it could be, like, this old lodge. And I found this one place online, a hotel called the Old Faithful Inn, and it kind of looks like how I would imagine it, but it would be like that, but in a mountain. Let's see if I can get it up. Let's bring up Clip Studio Paint real quick so I can bring up images. Da 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 da. Is Clip Studio Paint on here? Yes, it is. Here it comes. Da, 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 da. Anyway, here's... So here's what I imagine for, like, instead of a castle, it's a lodge of some kind. Of, like, where, like, a Western Beauty and the Beast would be. But like, yeah, this is the Old Faithful Inn. I think it's right next to the Old Faithful Geyser in Yellowstone. But instead of like it being like, instead of it being completely here, I would have something like this. Obviously, like slightly, like definitely exaggerated, but I would definitely like have it like carved or like blended into a mountain instead, and like looking all like more, and like have things being like slightly more exaggerated. That's what I would imagine like an old Western Beauty and the Beast would be. And that's kind of like how my brain works, where, you know, people have all kinds of crazy ideas and images, exaggerated images that they come up with when they find a story they like. For me, I need to find a real life version of it. So mostly, not because I need it to be realistic. It's actually far from that. The reason why I need to find like a close real life version of it is so I can have like the magic in the mundane of my life. So like that's a castle, that's a Beauty and the Beast for a Western Beauty and the Beast. Let's see if I can like draw up kind of a idea of what like the old Western Beauty and the Beast will look like. Well, the Beast in particular. Let me like draw what I kind of have in mind for him. Let's see. I think the Beast. Let me turn on my tablet. You kind of need your tablet on when you're gonna draw. So anyway, I would probably draw him like. Am my sensitivity working? Yeah, it's working. Okay. Nothing matters. But I would kind of have the Beast have like this really long snout and maybe like some tusks coming out, so it's like kind of wolfy looking, like a wolfish body. So he's like almost werewolfy, but maybe he's got maybe a hoof or something. And he's got like paw claws. It's kind of like, let me shrink this. But like he's got like weapons stuck in him. Like people have tried killing him before. And he's all like tattered looking. This is a great thing. I don't know if he'd have a cape on or something. I don't know. But like I just imagine he's got like sticks. Like sticks of things trying to pierce him. Maybe a sickle. Of course, he's like all got scars though, because everyone's like, you know, everyone's got guns now because it's the Old West. It's the Old West, and so like maybe he's got some like bullet wounds, and maybe he's got some like dry patches, something like that. I know it's a perfect illustrated image that completely gets everything done, but this is why you have like concept sketches. This is the artistic process. Maybe I can like draw maybe the face I have in mind. Da 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. It's like a wolf. And like a long wolf, but with like 2 front tusks. Amazing artistic prowess at work. This is the peak. I have reached the peak of the human spirit, of what humanity is capable of. Look upon me. Look upon me in wonder. I'm a vampire, by the way. If you didn't know. You know, it's funny. I wouldn't be, like, if it were my choice, I wouldn't be a vampire. I'd probably just be like a Van Helsing kind of character. But if I had to be something supernatural, I'd probably be a witch. That way I can die of old age. If I'm lucky. Haha. we love all that. I had this one scene I had in my head of if I did like, I don't know, some kind of fun spin-off thing of like Van Helsing and Dracula. Like maybe Van Helsing is dying and Dracula's just outside his window and he's like peering in, kind of mocking him. And Van Helsing can't help but laugh at Dracula. You know, he's dying of old age. He's like, but I'm going to a place that you can never go. And that makes Dracula very mad. And it's like, yeah, you know, I may be dying of old age, but the destination I'm going is somewhere far beyond your reach. And Dracula took that personally. Maybe it needs to be longer, I don't know. It's like a wolf pig thing. Maybe like one ear's messed up like mine. And it's got tusks. We love ourselves a beast. I love drawing. It's great. Here's a drawing I was working on. Where is it? I was working on this. It was Deadlock fan art where they're like swapping stuff, but I don't think I'm finished. Maybe an Avatar Witch cosplay. I probably should do that sometime at some point. Maybe next year. I don't know. But I did have one model that I did where I had a witch hat on that I made. But you know, I'm actually quite proud of how the little wings went. Abwa! 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 Anyway, that's enough Clip Studio painting around. Oh, I am craving myself some beef stew. What is that white thing on there? Is that my skull? I don't know what that is. It matters not. It's fine. This thing doesn't need polish. I don't need polish. I just need an exorcism. But nah, if I'm a vampire... I had this one version of Dracula that I made where he doesn't need blood. He needs like nectar from life, right? So he goes to the grocery store and he like gets like oranges and clementines and he just like bites the clementines and the oranges and, you know, dries them up. He dries them up. He doesn't even need to peel them. But like, or he takes vitamins that's in blood, you know, because maybe like vampires are actually just super anemic. You know, it helps him function, but you know, blood's better. But you know, maybe Dracula's tired. Maybe he's bored or tired or worn out from eating people. That's another fun Dracula take that I would do. Oh god, I had another idea. What was it? Oh, I forgot. I don't know where my brain is today. Well, my brain was awake for like 3 hours from like 2 a.m. to like 5 a.m. I hate waking up in the middle of the night like that. It sucks. It's so lonely. Even if you're like going down trying to sleep or you're trying to watch videos, it's a very lonely experience. Cause like when I was a kid, I would so frequently wake up in the middle of the night. All the time. And I hated it. Because I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would be bored. And sometimes I would go downstairs, I would just turn on the TV just to have something on to watch. So my mom would come downstairs eventually and like she'd yell at me to like go to sleep. So I learned to understand like the creaking of the bed. Creaking of the bed, and so I would like turn off the TV to pretend I'm asleep, all that stuff. It sucks. It sucks. So I want to have a full night of sleep. I just want to have a full night of sleep. I just want to sleep well. And it's so funny, you can tell that I don't sleep well because if you look at my if you look at my bed when I sleep well versus when I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't go back to sleep no matter how hard I try, like my bed sheets are like all kinds of a mess because I'm just like tossing and turning, trying to get comfortable, all this and that. It's very frustrating. But yeah, like, dude, okay, I'm gonna say it. You know, I know I'm on YouTube and all that stuff, but after having a really good day away from everything, I just realized how much garbage YouTube spews at me. I hate it. I miss how, like, you could actually look for what you're looking for instead of, like, algorithms choosing stuff for you. I really genuinely hate it. And it's like, I don't want to be on anything anymore. I found a funny meme. Let me bring it up. Because I want to talk about that. Where is my Clip Studio Paint? Here we go. Here we go. Let me move myself out of the way. It says, I'm going to the store for a few Halloween decorations. Me at the store. Good lord. Like, was it last year or so? My husband and I went, it was like the 1st of October or it was September. I forget, but it was early. We went to look at the Halloween section. There was one Halloween aisle and there were 3 Christmas aisles. That was so lame. God. I'm not ready for Christmas. Oh, good grief. But yeah, like, just YouTube kind of sucks right now. It's not fun to be on. And I feel like the good stuff isn't encouraged, so no one makes the good stuff. Or there's like no incentive to make good stuff. I don't know. But that's a whole other rabbit hole. Oh, let me show you like the interior of the Old Faithful Inn. Oh, my voice is going. I should probably end the stream soon. Okay. Like I said, I didn't get too much sleep. Where are you? Where are you? Here we go. So this is the interior of the Old Faithful Inn. And it's like, that's perfect. Like, I like, if I could. Nah, I just want to go back to, I just want a good time machine and go back to old YouTube. That's kind of it. Or like, I don't know. It's a very, very complicated thing where I miss people making stuff for fun, man. But do you remember that era where people would like dress up and do skits? Like, that's a crazy era. Like, that couldn't happen today. Because like effort is like not rewarded at all. Yeah, I miss 2000s YouTube so much. Like I'll say it over and over again, but like, you know, I got into it in summer of 2006. And that, I would say YouTube stopped being fun maybe around 2016, kind of, I guess. I don't know. But like I said, that's a whole different story. But anyway, back to this place. Like, how cool would it be to just have this, but it's like all ramshackled and stuff like that. And like the windows aren't glass, they're just open because they're broken. And there's curtains coming out, and there's wind and a cool breeze. Blah. This would be a great place for a vampire to sleep. Blah. But I think I'll end the stream here. My voice is going, and my lack of sleep did not help me. And I'm hungry. I'm hungry after a very long day. I wasn't expecting to be out for so long. I came home like maybe 2 hours later than expected, I suppose. I don't know. But I mean, I had a lot of fun. Oh, I had a great time. I had a blast. But you know, you wanna get all of your what's the word? You wanna get all your what's it called? Chickens in order, eggs in order, or something. I don't know the word. Yeah, just I want to have everything accounted for. You know, but you know, when you can't really completely wind down, all that stuff, things don't go according to plan, I guess. But anyway, I'll hop off here. I have things to tend to. And sleep to catch up on. But I guess this is my last morning stream for October. Or at least Sunday morning stream. I'll come up with something else. This was a test run on how I can handle these things. And I've learned a few lessons, that's for sure. But we shall see. We shall see what I come up with. Because, you know, I will return. I will return. You know, this is not the last you've seen of me. Blah. Blah. Good night, everybody. Or good morning. I don't know. See ya. Wait, let me go up. Right side up. I need to flap my wings menacingly. Blah. Blah.